Should I get back with my ex? This thought sounds so reasonable at such times. You convince yourself that it makes sense. Sab sahi to tha. Before you make this decision, I want you to watch this video until the end. I promise you, you will have a clearer answer. Okay, so you've broken up. It's done. You've cried, you've maybe told a few close friends about it who were probably surprised by it at first, but supported you nevertheless. You've opened their chat 1,000 times to see if they're online or if those 3 dots appear, which will tell you that they're also thinking about you. You've stalked their Instagram at 1 a.m. and you're not even trying to control yourself on that because isme kya ho jayega? It's not like you're reaching out to them. Maybe they've also shown interest, or maybe it's just you thinking this. Should I get back with my ex? This thought sounds so reasonable at such times. You convince yourself that it makes sense. Sab sahi to tha. Maybe breakup was an overreaction. Usne aisa bhi kuch galat thodi kiya hai. Yeah, we were not that bad together. He knew me the best. Usse अच्छी तरह तो मुझे कोई समझ ही नहीं सकता. Maybe getting back together is right. If you search this topic on YouTube, there is a lot of Western advice available, which will tell you what to do. But I think the Indian context is different. Our situation is different. So Western advice doesn't really get what we are feeling, where these fears come from. So I will try to name your exact fears and share how to navigate this question in an Indian context specifically. And I'm not going to give you a yes or no, because honestly, nobody, at least nobody on the internet who doesn't know your whole story, can tell you what to do. The reason you want to go back is because they knew you. You felt comfortable with them at some point. They probably knew you more than anyone else. They know your complicated relationship with your friends, your parents, your insecurities about work or your looks. और बात ये है कि India में we don't have the luxury of building this kind of intimacy with too many people. We didn't date that much growing up. And it wasn't that socially acceptable to date openly and fail openly. Heck, maybe your parents don't even know about the existence of this person. So by the time you're in your mid to late 20s, you might have had 1, maybe 2 people who knew you this intimately. And when they leave, or when you ask them to leave, it doesn't just feel like losing a person. It feels like you've lost a part of yourself. So of course you would want to go back. You're not stupid or weak for feeling that way. Breakups in India are more lonely than in other places. In theory, when you break up with someone in the West, there's a somewhat accepted process. You cry, you talk to your friends, family, maybe you see a therapist who helps you process these emotions, and you eventually start dating again. But here, you break up and then what? You can't tell your parents you're going through something. You're just expected to deal with it silently, not make a scene, not post on your Instagram, and who takes therapy for breakups here? And God forbid if you're in that marriageable age, because then on one side, you're dealing with heartbreak, and on the other, society is telling you to find a good partner and settle down. Or if you can't find yourself, ye dekho, tumhe abhi WhatsApp pe 4 rishte bhej diye. So the ex obviously looks like a better option, better than jumping into the dating pool and building that connection all over again. So here's the real question. Knowing why you are feeling like going back now, you need to ask yourself, what changed? And whether you're going to make the right call or not depends on how honest you are about this with yourself. You broke up for a reason. Maybe it was something about them that you weren't okay living with. Maybe it was something about you that you wanted to deal with first. Or maybe it was something external factors altogether. Family wasn't accepting or whatever it was. Has anything changed in those factors? If there is a specific answer to this, then I agree with you. It is worth exploring. But if you're sitting there and the only answer you have is, I just miss them too much, or it may be different this time, it most likely won't. That's just your emotional brain talking. And if you go back, you will have to go through this breakup all over again. Maybe a few weeks later or a few months later, but you will have to. Let me tell you something I've observed about people who get back together. Some of them make it work. In fact, some of them are the strongest relationships I've seen, genuinely. But in most of those cases, these people went through something individually. They individually grew, individually figured out something about themselves. And when they came back together, they knew exactly how they were different. Not that, oh, we just couldn't stay apart, so we got back together different. something significant, something that they could only figure out because they spent some time alone with themselves. On the other hand, I've seen a lot of reunions fail too. And some things that are always common in those, the two people get back with the same patterns. Nothing changed. Maybe they feel good initially because they are emotionally charged, but as soon as they get comfortable, they fall back to the same patterns, same fights. And second, their closest friends could usually see these patterns, but they weren't willing to listen and still got back together. They weren't objective about this. They knew nothing has changed, but still hoped for different results. So if you're going back, and maybe you should, I don't know your situation, go back with eyes open. Go back having answered the what changed question honestly. Go back having had the actual conversation about what went wrong, not just let's not repeat the past vibes. Don't go back because your family's pressuring you for marriage or because you feel you won't get anyone else. Otherwise, you're not getting back together. You're just delaying the same breakup. Look, I started this video by saying that I wouldn't give you a yes or no, and I'm going to keep that promise. Because the truth is, I don't think the decision itself is what matters most here. What matters is whether you're making it consciously, whether you are going back because you've actually thought it through, or whether you're going back because it's 2 a.m. and you're lonely and their last message is still saved in your notes app. जो भी decide करो. Don't let it stay this open loop in your head for months. And if you're not sure yet, that's okay too. Sit with the question, what specifically has changed? Let that do the work. If you want to talk more about this, or if you've been through this and want to share what helped, drop it in the comments. I read everything.